to me, come to me.
Good morning. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Glennis Peterson, your service leader for today. And our speaker this week is Donna Smith. Now, one of the things that I really miss is hearing you all answer me when I say good morning. That is to say, I really miss you all. So please call and check with other members of our congregation. If you know how to find us on YouTube, which you have because you're watching, or have used Zoom, help others who might find it difficult to do so in order that many of us as possible can participate in our services. Donna will be available after this service for an after-sermon discussion on Zoom. Every Sunday, the sign-in time is 11:15, and the conversation will start at 11:30. These are actually really wonderful to be able to interact with each other, and it's what we have right now so that we can stay connected. If you have not yet used Zoom, you can find it in your browser or your Google or whatever you use, and just type in Zoom, and you will be directed to download the free app. You can do this on your phone, tablet, or computer. Just follow the easy prompts. Once you've done that and signed up for the free Zoom account, click on the link in your email that Michael Wheeler sends out each week. If you missed the after-service discussion, they are recorded, so like our services, you can view them anytime on YouTube. Services are generally uploaded on Saturday nights. Now, since you're using YouTube to view this service, please click on the red subscribe button. This will make it much easier to find this channel anytime. And if you also click on the little bell next to it, you will receive notifications whenever we upload a new video. In addition to services and discussions, we also have meditations and interviews. There are a lot of things to check out. Now, I want to thank Michael Wheeler and Lucy Swingham for their work in producing these videos each week. As I light our chalice this morning, I'd like you to think about the words by Julianne Lepp, Open to Unexpected Answers. We seek our place in the world and the answers to our heart's deep questions. As we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. May the light of our chalice remind us that this is a community of warmth and wisdom and welcoming of multiple truths. Our opening words this morning are from The Way of Mastery. Forgiveness is essential. What has not been forgiven in others has not been forgiven in you. But not by a God who sits outside of you, for God never judges. What you have not forgiven in another or in the world is but a reflection of what you carry within as a burden that you cannot forgive in yourself. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Donna Smith. As a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader, Donna's ministerial training was focused on pastoral care. Her heart is most joyful when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles at Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation, and is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry. Before pursuing ministry, she was a certified public accountant operating her own business for many years. Since retiring, she does the accounting for Abicello Winery in Roseburg on a part-time basis. Donna?
Good morning, as Michael would say, you beautiful you-ers. I love that. I sure wish I could see your faces and hug you, but we'll have to settle for the virtual service for a while longer. So this morning I want to talk to you about a teaching from the Gospel of Thomas. This gospel was discovered in 1945 as part of the Nag Hammadi library in Egypt. The Council of Nicaea was convened by the Roman Emperor Constantine in 325 to decide what books or teachings were going to be included in the Bible. The Gospel of Thomas was not included for various reasons, which we won't go into today. But if you read the Gospel of Thomas, you will find there's some very highly spiritual teachings of Jesus, which, if embraced, could change your life. I am very much drawn to this particular teaching. And this teaching says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Stated differently, this teaching is a reminder that you have within you a force so powerful that its expression can heal you. And yet if you repress this powerful force within you, you will destroy yourself. This force is in everyone. You do not need to go outside and try to figure it out or discover it. It is not outside of you. You are an eternal being whose true essence is light and love. This part of you, which many call the soul, cannot ever be destroyed. So when these teachings talk about being destroyed, it's talking about your existence as a human being. And how you can destroy your life through not bringing forth that within you which is love and light. If you choose not to bring your love and light forth, then your life will be full of pain and suffering, which leads to, of course, illness, depression, apathy, and many other symptoms. Human beings have egos. An ego is just a thought that you are separate from your Creator and from every other person. The ego is not part of the organizing intelligence of the universe. Universe, uni, one, verse, song. There's only oneness, universe. I love that word. Even though there is only oneness in this universe, and this power is always within you, your ego goes to a great deal of effort to convince you that you are separate. It goes to a lot of trouble convincing you that, number one, you are what you have, and that you should accumulate as much as you can in material wealth. The more you have, the greater you are. The ego doesn't tell you that you came into this world with no material wealth, and you will go out of this world with no material wealth. Therefore, the value of material wealth is zero. And yet so many people put so much value on the material items that they strive to get more and more and accumulate far more than they need to have a comfortable life. Some people define themselves by their car, by their estates, or by the many, many designer clothes that they have. However, material wealth adds absolutely nothing to your true value. The ego will also tell you, you are what you do. The ego wants you to strive to be somebody and have a job that pays a whole lot of money. Therefore, people identify themselves with what they do. I'm a doctor, a mother, a father, an accountant, a singer, a musician, and they take great pride in what they do. And yet, we do these things on earth as part of our journey and as part of our creativity. but what you do does not define who you are. If you are defining yourself with what you do, you are valuing what we call the false self. So much suffering is caused by this standard. If I don't become somebody and have a prestigious job, then I'm a failure. Very destructive. The ego will also tell you you are your reputation, and therefore everybody must like me. This is very dangerous also because you have totally given your power over to others as the basis of defining who you are. This means you do what others want you to do. So you feel loved and appreciated. You feel like somebody because everyone likes you. And yet this is a false feeling also, because as soon as you don't do what everyone wants you to do, you fall from their grace and they easily take their love from you. When this happens, deep depression may follow, and it is the reason for many suicides. The ego will tell you you are separate from everyone. This leads to competition and a need to be better than everybody else. When someone betters you in your world of competition, you feel great loss and dejection, and you feel even more separate from others. Again, you feel that you're a failure. The ego will tell you you are separate from what is missing in your life. This means that you are looking outside of yourself for something that is going to make you feel complete. The ego will tell you it has to be outside of you, and it diverts your attention from going within. If you think that having a partner will make you complete, you will strive to find a partner and won't be happy until you find that missing part of you. That never works. And you find great disappointment in any relationship because you are wanting the other to complete you, and that is not possible. When you truly know who you are, you know that nothing is missing from you, and that whatever you wish to create in any form is for the joy of creating and is easily manifested in that state of consciousness. You do not create because you think something's missing. You create for joy. So if you believe in all of these things the ego is teaching you, you will never find the love and the wisdom within you. These are the ploys of the ego to keep you from discovering who you truly are. And these ploys, if not released, will destroy your chances of living a happy, fulfilled life. When you live a life based on these 5 premises of the ego, you cannot help but to experience shame, guilt, hate, depression, stress, angst, resentment, unforgiveness, and you know the list goes on and on. These are the destroyers of your life. So let's get rid of these destroyers of life. So how do we do this? You choose to forgive. Now, I know that word brings up a lot of resistance in some people. I can even feel it right now, even through the virtuality of our session here. But I invite you that when you feel that, I want you to consider that unforgiveness is only destroying you. Do you want to destroy the delicious happiness that is available to you because you are dwelling on something you want to change from your past that cannot ever be changed? You can't do that. You can't make it different than it was. And the only thing that you can change about the past is what you think and feel about it in this now moment. That's where your power is. Forgiveness is the key to releasing the past. It can be difficult, I know. However, I invite you to begin to forgive a little here and a little there until eventually you realize that you've forgiven everything and you have nothing else to forgive. You actually become forgiveness. Now, this might take a while, yes, but starting out, just starting that journey is going to be one of the most valuable things that you can do for yourself. And an interesting thing happens when you begin to forgive yourself. You will find in this process that the more you forgive yourself, the less you feel the need to forgive others. You develop a sense of understanding and appreciation of all that has happened in your life, and you begin to see it in a different light. Every moment you forgive yourself or others, you are bringing forth that within you that will save you. Now I want to share a true story with you. Eva Moses Kaur, who died at the age of 85, endured atrocities that were performed under the guise of medical experimentation at the Auschwitz concentration camp until she was freed at the end of World War II. Before her death in 2019, she returned to Auschwitz to accompany an educational group. What made Eva's visit so exceptional, however, is that in addition to the tour group, she was accompanied by one of the Nazi doctors who had performed the horrific experiments on her. At a memorial service to honor those who died at the camp, she forgave him for the role he played in the atrocities, as well as for the suffering she and her twin sister had endured as a result of what he had done. She later shared her experience in an interview published by a popular Tel Aviv newspaper. I forgive them for killing my parents, for robbing me of the rest of my family, for taking my childhood from me, for turning my life into hell, for creating nightmares that accompanied me every night in the past 60 years. In my name and only in my name, I forgive them for all of those horrific acts. Kaur described how her life changed in the presence of her forgiveness, stating, as I did that, the act of forgiveness, I felt a burden of pain was lifted from me. I was no longer in the grip of pain and hate. Leaving no doubt about the power of her forgiveness and the role it has played in her life, she clarified, I was finally free. So in this poignant example of seemingly unforgivable cruelty, we see the power that is described in the Gospel of Thomas. By choosing to bring forth the love and subsequent forgiveness within her, Eva Kaur transcended the emotional suffering and the biological consequences of illness and disease that typically accompany prolonged and unresolved anger. In doing so, she lived to an age that is considered advanced even in today's standards, 85 years, where the life expectancy of a woman in the United States averages 80 years. If Eva had chosen to cling to her anger and to dwell upon the horrors of her experience, the science of epigenetics shows that in all probability, the consequence of such a choice would have led to compromises in her immune system, her cardiovascular system, and her body's mechanisms of DNA and cell integrity. In other words, there is a greater probability that her failure to bring forth what was within her, love and love's power to forgive, would have destroyed her. This love and his power is within you. And it is exactly what Jesus was describing as the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Forgiveness seems the hardest thing for human beings because our egos keep telling us, oh no, we're right. They're wrong. And, why should we forgive them? They're wrong. But unforgiveness is always a choice that you make. But if you can see how it can destroy you, would you continue to hold so fast to it? I've had two major events in my life that caused me great suffering until I chose to forgive. One is a friend who betrayed me, and the other was my husband who betrayed me. However, holding on to the unforgiveness, I suffered greatly, not only emotionally and mentally, but also physically. my body, every time I thought about it, would just tighten up, and I would have this horrible tenseness right here in my heart. And that occurred every time I thought about it. And I thought about it a lot. And then I finally realized, with spiritual guidance, that I was only destroying myself. It took a long time to truly forgive my friend, and I have truly forgiven her, even though my forgiveness happened after she died. It is still just as powerful. My husband I forgave 3 days before he died. So it was a great gift for me to be with him at that time when he was still alive. But in the moment of that forgiveness of him, what I saw in him was his true loving nature. You know, it was an awareness, and he didn't change, like he didn't light up or anything like that, but it was such a deep awareness of his divinity. And at that very moment, everything that had gone on between my husband and I that caused the suffering that I suffered from meant absolutely nothing. It meant nothing. And I knew that I had totally forgiven him. I have no idea what he felt, but for me, that was the greatest gift I was ever given. And I recently had an Akashic Records reading, and what came up was a feeling of shame about something that I had done a very long time ago. In fact, I had forgotten it, totally forgotten it. But in this moment that it came up, I realized that it was causing me pain and suffering. That was, subconscious. And when I realized that, I forgave myself for what I did. And immediately I felt such great relief. And ever since that moment, I have felt lighter. My breathing has been so much easier. And so that has encouraged me to go digging for other things. Now, that might seem a little silly, but when you get that feeling, you want it again. So I'm going to do that. It's a process that I've already started looking back, and I've already thought of a couple of things for sure, but I'm going to go back and feel what I felt at that time, and then I'm going to release it. And I'm very excited about this. It's a process that will probably take a lifetime, as most of these things do. But as I processed all of these experiences, my inner guidance was telling me to forgive. I remember thinking, one time I was asking, what do I do here? And the answer, forgive. It came many times, forgive. Hard thing to do. But self-forgiveness is part of that. Self-forgiveness and loving yourself are the greatest healings you can do for yourself. Now, as Eva Kor said, she was finally free. Forgiveness does not excuse their behavior. Forgiveness prevents their behavior from destroying your heart. And I know how that feels, for I am finally free after choosing to forgive. It is the most wonderful feeling, as I said before, that you just keep wanting to get it over and over and over. So it's very encouraging once you do that, because you will want to do it more. When I was reading the Gospel of Thomas and this particular teaching, the scholars have offered these thoughts and interpretations. What is within is light. There is a light within a man, and he lights up all the world. If he is not a light, there is darkness. This light within you emerges from you into the world so as to illuminate the world and make the world visible. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "You are the light of the world." The gospel presents the idea that the world can be comprehended in either of two fashions. You can see it in the usual way, the standard mode of human perception from the time of fallen Adam to the present day, or you can see the world in the light of the first day of creation, when light came forth from God. Since we are each made in the image of God, when we express our light out into the world, we are expressing the God within us. And it says, so what is within a person is the supernal light of creation. If it shines, it brings with it the kingdom and eternal life. If it does not shine, the world is darkness. If the world is darkness, then it is death. And what you have failed to light will destroy you. According to this saying, your destruction is under your own control, as is your salvation. We are powerful beings of light and love. It is time we begin to let go of the ego and its insane notions and look at ourselves as amazing creations that we are. It is your choice, and when you choose to love and forgive, the freedom that follows will be so incredibly inspiring, you will never want to go back. Again, I wish I could describe that feeling of freedom, but it's something you have to experience. It's indescribable. Same as God is indescribable. But it is an experience worth having. Michael Singer states in The Untethered Soul, if you want real life, real growth, real spirituality, it's all about letting go of the blockages you're holding inside of you. One of the greatest lessons you will learn here is that trying to achieve happiness by getting what you want is actually limiting your happiness. You end up struggling with life instead of experiencing it. True happiness comes only when your inner energy is free to flow. The most effective personal growth technique is to use life to remove your inner blockages, not compensate for them. But most importantly, you will come into touch with the real you, the indwelling consciousness that is witnessing. So I want to close with a quote from Albert Camus that I shared with you last time I was with you, but it again speaks so well to our message today. He said, in the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. And that makes me happy. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. So don't let the past prevent you from living today in the fullness of the loving being that you truly are. So I want to say these words one more time and ask that you take them into your heart. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. For me, the teaching is simple. Choose love every moment. You got it made. So I would like to ask you to join me in meditation right now. So wherever you are, get comfortable. Find a very comfortable place to be. I want you to bring your awareness to your body. And just ask your body to relax. It will do that because it respects you. And then I want you to drop your shoulders, drop your jaw, allow your arms to rest in your lap, and let your legs and feet relax in comfort. Take a very deep, full breath in, and exhale this breath fully. Let's do this one more time. Now as you settle into your normal breathing, notice where your body may be a little tight yet. Focus there and see waves of peace flowing into this area. If you have more tight areas, take a moment to bless those areas with these waves of peace. In this very relaxed state, bring to mind a person, a pet, a situation, or a time when you were so filled with love and appreciation, joy and happiness, that you just can't help but smile when you think of it. We all have those moments, so bring one to mind and feel the joy in your heart. And as your heart feels this joy, and you feel the great peace of this moment, imagine if you felt this way all the time. This would be a wonderful intention to hold. It is possible to feel this joy and peace when we forgive and let go. There's no reason to hold on to something that is already gone. Your life is supposed to be happy, and it is your responsibility to choose that happiness. There is a verse in the Course of Miracles, and it reads, "The holiest place on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love." So I ask that you take those words into your heart for just a few moments of silence. Let the love and the light that is within you come forth and create the happiness and joy that you innately deserve just by being a divine being. The holiest place on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love. So as you bring your awareness back to wherever you are, I invite you to hold these words in your awareness and choose to release the past and live in the present, the now moment. I love and miss you all. I really look forward to being together again and getting those hugs that I'm missing. Namaste, my friends.
Our closing words this morning are from Onawa. When we allow ourselves to see forgiveness as a path to freedom, something powerful emerges. That something is a clear space from which we can live and create. When we let go of blame, whether it's directed at ourselves or others, we're able to know peace in the present and have faith in the future. Because when we forgive, we receive what we truly desire: the gifts of love and expanded consciousness. We evolve as we are meant to. When I extinguish the chalice this morning, our words are from Becky Laurent. As flame is to spirit, so spirit is to breath, and breath to sing. Though we extinguish the flame in this sanctuary, may we tend it in our hearts until we meet again.